In my Discord, I have a way that you can give me decks to test called Test My Deck. In the Discord, you just go to where it says test my deck, you drop your deck list, and I'll give it a try. And so today, that's exactly what we're going to be doing with Blue Yellow Queen, thanks to one of our amazing Discord members. Is this deck any good? Not anymore, but I think you can definitely make it work, as it's just a deck that's made to run out of resources to continue to gain life. Is it working in an aggro meta that we're in currently with decks like Doflamingo, even Zoro running rampant and having great matchups into so many decks? Bello Betty and so many other scary opponents? Probably not, but we can always give it a try into the meta and see how it does. Personally, I have never played Queen, but I knew it did do very well a while ago, and in doing so, while you join the Discord to see these deck lists or to add your own deck list to test out in a future video, you can also jump in on the giveaway. This is our 500 sub giveaway that you can learn more about right now. Oh, and in case you also missed it, we are doing a 4-player sim tournament giveaway thingy for celebrating 500 subs. Join in our Discord below. 4 random chosen contestants will enter, only one will win, with the chance of winning an OP09 box or a PBR1 box if you can take me on and win. And now that you know all about it, as always, like, subscribe, and then join the Discord. Come hang out with the One Piece family, where we're learning to talk about One Piece a little too much, and let's get into the deck profile with the Test My Deck. Here is a generic Blue Yellow Queen deck list made off the 9-drop Sanji. This is the most important card in the deck, as well as many others are pretty good, but it does not compare to the 9-drop Sanji, which is the whole point of this deck, is to set up this character. As this leader reads, times 1 Dawn when attacking, if your hand and life total is 4 or less, meaning that's why we're running out of resources, draw 1 card. Or if you have a cost 8 or higher character in play, you may place 1 card from the top of your deck on the top of your life instead of drawing 1 card. So we can set up our life by using cards like X-Drake and 3-drop Doflamingo, as well as our 1-cost Perona. These cards are used to set up our 9-cost Sanji on curve, so when we hit 10, we can then 9-cost Sanji, play out a big character, and then behind that we can put a trigger. And I know this may sound crazy, but it might seem crazy what I'm about to say. So what we do here is there's a lot of instrumental things in this deck that people really aren't aware of. So what we can do is, if we go down all the way to 0 life aggressively here, what we can do is set up the 9-cost into a Katakuri, right? I can put one of your characters on the top of your life, and then I can put 1 Dawn on my leader, gain a life, and put a 0-cost event up there, or a Beji, or a Satori, or a Frankie. And so there's so many parts that have to work perfect. We can also put triggers like Red Rock or Gravity Blade, but that's only if we can get down in hand size, being the hardest part of this deck. So let's give it a try as we get to spam out bigger bodies on the board, develop little blockers, and just see what we can do with it. Again, I will be ranking this exact deck list at the very end about how I think it actually functions, how I function as the player, to be honest, because this is a deck I haven't play tested much, and we'll just give it an all-together score of 1 to 100 and come up with some future kind of structure to this as we continue to grow, because I've already gotten so many members on Discord. So thank you guys so much for all the subscriptions. I appreciate it. Let's get into the games and see how we do with Test My Deck. I think this might actually be a good matchup for us. Let's get to the correct facial positioning and see what our Buggy opponent wants to do. We both have very similar curves, so I'm kind of okay either way personally, because we can get to 10 very quickly with the Sanji, but sometimes we don't have enough time to set up what we're doing exactly. So let's definitely see how they want to do this. We're 2 very interesting leaders, and I would say this is a pretty good hand actually. So our goal here is to filter our hand with the Kaya on the next turn to go lower in hand size. So we're going to draw 2 and then trash 2. Going against Buggy, I think the Gravity Blade will be very good, but the Red Rock not so much. So we'll drop this down, and we'll drop down a Veggie from hand because we won't have a way to set this up. We'll play out Perona. We'll draw into a, let's math this out, right guys? So 2 into 4, 6, 8, 10. So this will be our body that we play off the next one. So we need to go, when we draw the Sanji, we play the Sanji. We could draw the Sanji earlier. We can't play Sanji with Sanji. So 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. And then we play this out. So that looks to be our curve right there. So we're gonna draw into the Gravity Blade, 2k counters, not much to play out. We're playing this out on our 6, so on 4 we don't have much. We don't have anything to set up with it either. Red Rock will be good. That's the way we'll do it right there. And we'll pass turn. So next turn, we're probably just gonna swing 9 at face. There is always reason to not, but we'll take this, see what we get. We actually get the Doflamingo, so we get to dig 1 card deeper, setting up what we want to do. We'll swing 6 in a face. They have the Sanji's peel off. They should just take this as a 5-life leader, but they don't. So we'll see what they want to do instead. We'll start placing on top, this time gaining the Gravity Blade trigger. No, let's do the Satori trigger. We don't need the 2K. We'll put this here. So now we know it's still the same, right? Because 6, 8, 10, we draw this, we play out Yamato, and then we have Satori to be our trigger to trigger out a life. If we can gain a life properly, we need to go down in hand size first, which the Gravity Blade is hard to get rid of, right? So maybe we go lower, we take the Gravity Blade as the trigger, using these as trigger cards out. So I actually think that's what we're gonna do. And we'll pass turn again. Sorry it takes so long to develop my Buggy friend. You saw us do a Buggy video really recently. So I hope you guys enjoyed that one. We're gonna probably counter out of this. They bottom deck our 3-cost blocker, and we will counter out of this. We need to go lower in hand size. That is our biggest goal. They haven't developed any board, so kind of still a good spot. We're gonna swing 6 again, just get another card out of hand, hopefully. If they take, that's okay as well. We'll play out the 5-cost, and now we get to set up more. And this is even better. We push the Sanji all the way to the back, so now we're on 6, 8, 10. So that would be this, and then if we can gain a life, it'll be this. So at least that's a good option. Into the Katakuri draw, we 9-drop from hand rather than having 2. We can use these as counter. Even if we have to counter out for no reason and even miss, that's okay. All right, there we go. So now we have the Red Rock, we have the Katakuri, we can remove their board. We can't use the Gravity Blade just yet. They Gravity Blade of their own, so don't think that was smart, but I can see what they're doing here. Really putting us in an interesting spot. We can gain a life, I guess, on the next turn. There's nothing to remove with the character we just used. Let's draw it, and we can't use the trigger because then we lose our whole setup we just did. So, man, we really need to get rid of this hand size. We're gonna go 5 in a face here. This guy's playing really weird. I don't know if I really mess with it. We're gonna go and get a big body. At least we can draw. We'll add this to the top of our life, just in case we have like a 0-cost. We can set up again if we want, or we can just 9-cost in the next turn. So I wish they were being a little more aggressive. They're really just playing. What are you even playing at this point? Like, what leader is... We're gonna go ahead and I guess 2K out of this because we don't need to set up. We already know what we're getting. So I guess we'll 2K out of this, and we're gonna kill whatever they put on this board. This Richie right here, it's gonna be gone. So I guess we could 9-cost, play this out, clear this. We don't get to gain a life, but we'll get to draw a card here, which is nice, right? Nope, because we already have more than the amount of cards. So we'll next turn we'll play into the Drake, and we're getting a Sanji pretty soon. So we can be spamming out the board with some very strong characters. They shouldn't have more Red Rocks, hopefully. They haven't seen a 7-drop Brokeworks member yet, so Crocodile. This is a really weird one. What? Oh, they discarded it. I was like, why did they just Gravity Blade me? So they play out the Mihawk, they discard another Mihawk. This is a very interesting list. They play Sanji's peel off and then swing 7 at face, which we could counter out of, but I like the X-Drake to kind of stack the deck. But if we counter here, we can Red Rock that. We'll take. I don't think we're stressed about it. So we get the Gravity Blade, another one. So we're gonna search the top here, and oh my, that is some pieces of work right here. We are going to draw into this, we're going to play out the Yamato, forcing them to swing into our life, and then we should be able to gain a life on the next turn, at least with the Yamato. So we know we can Red Rock this, or no, Grav Blade this, because we don't even care if they take the life. And I would rather have the Red Rock just because we see them playing big bodies. So we will Gravity Blade this, and only this, and then we'll swing 7 at face, leaving these 2 characters as active, I think. Now let's swing in. Let's force them to counter. They have to choose their leader. Yep. I think we're going to go ahead and swing in. I don't think we're scared. I mean, with them having no board at all, usually you wouldn't want to swing, but with this point of the game, like, even if you do develop a big body, like, you're not doing anything for us or against us, and this is going to help us go down in hand size. If they swing our board, we do this. If they don't, we 9-cost on them. We're feeling pretty good. So far in the Buggy matchup, I think we have the win, but I think it's also because of the deck list they're running. I think it's like 4 Gravity Blades and 4 Red Rocks at this point. Like, this is just a, what's the name? Boa Hancock deck list. They're going to swing 13 into our character. Sure, you got it, because I'm about to put 2 more on the board. So I'm not too stressed about it. We could also just 5-drop, swing in for 9. Like, they have 2 Dawn active, which is really weird, so they're playing something here. Let's just swing in for 9 and see what they do. Not a love mellow or anything. Just put them to 0, but then we're not really developing board. I think we'll play this out for 5, search the top, and now we'll get to stack it a little more properly, because we're not going to use it now. This could be the life that we gain, could be the Veggie. So next turn we'll draw 2K to have more counter to discard for a leader effect, and then we'll 9 drop into Katakuri, because I think Katakuri is going to do more at the low life total that we're at, and then we should be good. Yeah, we'll try that, and then go 5 and 7 into face, which may seem crazy what I'm about to say, but I think that's what we're going to do. Or we could develop the Frankie and just have no counter at all. Don't tempt me. Don't tempt me. I'll lose cards. I don't need cards. I think we're good with just doing the Frankie, actually. I know that sounds crazy, but if he wants to swing heavy into the Yamato, we just block out with this. So it's kind of safe to do that and lowers our hand size. So he should just swing our face here, I'm assuming. They play out the 3000 World Sword, bottom decking a 5-cost character, and then they're going to go 11 into Yamato, so that's fine, I guess, because we're really pretty stress-free, my friend. Play this out, deploy this. We don't even have to put anything into life here. They just give up. We had 2 0-cost events at the bottom anyways. They just say GG's. And yeah, we're pretty good into the Buggy matchup. Like I said, aggro deck list, suck. This kind of list, I'm feeling pretty good. Red Shanks, hey, they choose to go first here, so we're going second. And we have the 9 cost, but we don't have anything to set up the top, so I think we just get rid of that. We have the Red Rock, which is going to be really good in my opinion. And we'll get the setup here. We get the 9 cost, but we don't get anything to actually play with it. So we'll start placing on top. We'll draw into, what, 4? So we'll just play this out, stack the top. So we'll draw the Gravity Blade for sure. This is a possible draw, and then these are we can draw later because we're going to change it next turn anyway. So at least we have a bunch of stacking options. I just don't want the chance at losing the 9 cost, you know? 8 at us, sure. Take. Use trigger. We'll get rid of a Mihawk here because Mihawk's not great in this matchup. I know that might sound crazy, but that's just the truth of it. We'll swing 6 at face, not turning our card sideways, which is going to be really good because they can't swing into it. And they will counter out, not giving us -1, which is whatever. I don't really care. We're going to literally leave it how it is because next turn we'll be playing this and search the top again. I just don't want to lose these 9 costs. 2 of them, we don't know when we're going to see another one, right? So let's just hope there's something big behind this. This card right here better be good. And then we'll just pass. So, hey, because we would have swung 5, you just leader effects, -1, whatever. We're fine with that. 6 into us, we will take again. Kaya, draw 2, trash 2. Looks good to me. We're going to draw 2. We are going to discard a Grav Blade and a Red Rock. We're going to play this for 5 here, and still nothing to use our 9 cost with. So I think we're going to get this. We're going to stack it again to find what we need, because we already have a 9 cost. We don't need anything else. Next turn we'll be playing down Katakuri, at least guaranteeing we can draw cards. We're not getting much counter, but we do have blockers on the board, and we just pass turn there. So we do have Red Rock. Red Rock's going to be very good. They play down Newgate. Newgate clearing out. Oh, swinging 7 into face. Going -1 to this character. So either we block and lose it here, or we block and, or we just take the next one. So I think we'd rather do this. Trigger, draw a card. We know it's a 1k counter, and then we will give them the 1k counter because we know we have another Doflamingo right behind this. So again, this matchup looking a little tough for us right now. We don't really have a way to take care of what we need to at the moment. We're going to tap 8, replace this, put this to the bottom of life, and then we can swing 5 at face. They will go -1, then we're gonna go 5 at face, because at this point, I want them to swing my bodies. Like, I want that to happen, because if not, so we'll have to see what they choose to do. If they have a way to clear out our blocker with like a Rayleigh, Dragon's pretty good, I'm not gonna lie to you. They're gonna go 7, 7, and 9, and it should all be at face. That's a misplay. That's a misplay, because they're not at a presented lethal, so what's the point of clearing out these bodies here? Right, so we can gain a life on the next turn, I believe, depending on how we play it. 9 into us, we should block here. If we take, that puts us 5 cards in hand. We draw 1 more. We need to put 2 bodies on the board. I think we have to take that. That sucks. It's another Sanji, so we would have found another one. Pretty good to note, I guess, but we can also gain a life off the effects of what we have. If we draw into, I'm trying to remember what we draw into. I think it's a 2k. No, it's another Sanji here. My goodness. We're getting, oh no, we got a Frankie. Okay, that's a little better. At least allowing us 2 down in hand size. 3, 6, and then 1 on leader. So, yep, we will be gaining a life, which is nice. We will go start with 5 at face here. We're gonna then Red Rock. We're going to, yep. We're gonna swing 8 here, because that's the, to try to clear this out. He did the -1 on leader like we wanted, getting at least 2 cards out of hand. We're kind of getting this back. We're gonna play 3 here. We're gonna gain a 0 cost event, so start placing on top. We're gonna put the 0 cost event in our life, and then we're gonna draw into another, we're gonna draw into a 2k, and then we're going to, no, that's gonna gain us a life after this being, so we're going to leader effect, put this into our life, and then the 0 cost when we take it next turn, we'll put Frankie into life, and then we'll draw, and then we will Katakuri. That's all going off if he hits us. If he doesn't hit us, we just miss on the Katakuri. But we have to play, this is a high school deck, you have to play off him hitting us with the Katakuri. We're going to red rock this, we're gonna swing. It's a high school deck and I just fumbled, man. We're on to the next one. We're on to the next one, man. We're on to the next one. We were still alive there too. That's the worst part because we had double blockers. I just swung the leader first to get out the leader effect and I couldn't because I needed the dawn on him to get the brick. Okay. Learning process, guys. Let's get into another game. As I told you, I've not play tested this deck at all, so we're still learning because we know how to play the game. It's just, do we know how to play it right? We're gonna take first away from them and keep this hand. A draw 2, trash 2 is gonna be good here. Just to lower our hand size and filter through the deck some more. I like our top end. I don't think we need Frankie. I do think we need this. I don't think we need 2 Kayas. So I think this will be good just in case we get to a weird point with our Dawn and everything. We're going to swing 8 at face and feel good about it. A 3-drop would have been very nice there, but we never saw one. So a 3-drop blocker that is, just to make sure we don't take the double attack. But double attack may just be what we take. So they counter out of 8, which is criminal to me. 2 2Ks. It's telling me they are 2K because there's no other reason you counter out of that. 6 at us, we will counter out of. I don't want to take double just yet. Definitely not worth my time and my existence just going away. They played on 3-drop Mihawk to play on Arlong's effect, making sure our rested leader cannot attack because they discarded a card, which is actually kind of okay with me. We're going to play down a 5 cost. We're going to start placing on top, and then when we go into 9 Dawn, so 5, 7 will be next turn. We're going to use this, and then 9 we'll be drawing this on 9. We'll be playing down the Katakuri, and then we will be drawing and then putting a red rock at the top to get rid of one of their small bodies, because usually they play small bodies. So I think that's the way to do it, and we pass turn. So we're okay. We have counter. We have a small hand size. We're doing everything we're supposed to, right? They rest down our blocker. They could go 9 into face, which is what I would expect. Yep, 8 into face is manageable. We could 0 cost and then 1K to only have to take 1 life, and then they go 7 here though, and we take no cards and we lose a body, right? So it's like, do we want to take 2 cards to hand now? No, I don't think so. Because then they would start getting their trigger effects, which we don't want to happen. So I think we're going to get rid of Katakuri here and then give them a 1K. I know that seems wild, but that's what our deck's built on, giving up cards, right? We're not going to use the trigger. As nice as it would be, I don't want to lose this Yamato. We have Grav Blade for this turn. They're going to go 6. They're going to go 7 into face here, so it's like getting double attacked anyways. So I guess nothing did change. We're going to not use the trigger again, it is what it is. We're going to go... Are we even going to swing face? We'll swing face once. They should take this. We want to see if they get a trigger. If they get a trigger, we're okay with it. They don't, which is good. We're not going to swing with the other character. We're going to bottom deck both of these and pass. So we should be good. We have 9K here. We have a blocker, so we don't take another double attack. They could also just send this guy, you know, rest this guy with Straw Sword. Straw Sword being very underrated. We're going to block and 2K. We're kind of getting the setup here. We keep our board, we keep our blocker. We're feeling pretty safe. They have another Arlong in hand, which is kind of annoying, but there was also merit to taking there actually, but they made it where we couldn't do anything. So play this, put this on the bottom, right? No, let's put the top, because I'm okay with them resting a 4 cost or lower right now, and then we just pass. So we're doing everything we need to. We can start gaining life with our leader effect very soon. If they want to hit us with double attack, we can gain 2 life actually. And oh my, now we just lose the game because you just go 8. Whoa, misplay. Let me tell you right now, that was a misplay. Yeah, I don't think that was correct. Don't think that was correct at all, guys. Could go Kaya to draw 2, trash 2 at this point, just to make sure. No, we'll gain a life no matter what. So we know one of those cards in their hand is a brick. We're gonna go 10 here, force out 2 cards possibly. And then, actually, let's go 8 here, because we're not playing down the Yamato, I don't think, because we're not getting value out of it just yet. I think we're just going to go for, I want to get a card out of hand, and then I'm going to put everything on leader. I think that's the best option here in this situation. We don't know what's on the top of our deck, so we're just going to gain the life and feel good about it, because at least their double attack doesn't kill us. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. We're going to go 9, right? 14. It's guaranteed no matter what. We'll gain a life and pass. We have a 2K counter. It's pretty good. Like, what do you want to do now, you know? They played on Arlong they mentioned earlier. They discard it. Now they have 1 card in hand. So they could go 11 here. They shouldn't, but hey, you can go 11 there. I guess this is just the game we're playing. We're going to 9 cost, kill this, and pass. We're still pretty safe. We have 2 2Ks. We could not use leader effect because we could not, you know, swing. Because if we could have played Kaya and then draw 2 trash 2. They're going 12 at face. We're going to take. No trigger. Double red rock is wild. And now we need to sit behind some blockers. So let's 5 cost search. We can choose what we draw here, and then we can gain a life, right? So we're going to draw 2. So we're putting this on the top. So draw 2 being counter and no counter. We're going to trash these 2, I think, against this matchup, and then we're going to gain a life. So yeah, that's going to be the best options here. We can't swing them. Well, we can swing them actually. Well, we're going to have to swing them to gain life. So draw 2, trash 2. Now we can gain a life. We're going to go 7 at face, which we can do because we know it's a veggie. So that's showing you the caliber of this deck. They get the veggie trigger of their own, but we're sitting on 2 Dawn now, which is, I wanted to swing 7 in case they would counter out, but they couldn't, sadly, obviously. So we're okay though. We know we have a veggie trigger, so if they do want to swing us, see, you see it now, you get it. So if they want to swing our face and go for game, we are perfectly safe because we use the trigger, we set up, we use the trigger we didn't set up, and that should be game at this point unless they get some crazy thing right here. So we're 9 at face, see what you do. If you can counter out, you can. If not, we're good. They get to rest one of our characters, we still can swing. I was going to swing 5 and then 10 on Kaya. So, wow, that one actually felt good. GG's to our opponent. That was a fun one, and that's how you're supposed to set it up. How the last game should have gone is how this one just went. We set up the veg trigger, and we kind of did everything perfect. They were hitting that R-Long back to back to back. I was really surprised. A fun little Yamato deck list there. Cool. Next game. All right, last game of the day is going to be against Smoker, a Gecko Moria player, and I think we're kind of liking this hand. This bottom deck's a 7, so we can get rid of their Tashigi at least. It's a 5 cost, but it still does everything we need. We have the 1 cost to empty out our hand. I think we keep. We also don't have any triggers other than the 0 cost in our life, so we're in our hand, so we're okay with this. We will Kaya or Perona first to draw 2, trash 2, but that gives us less to look through. So I think we're going to draw 2, trash 2 first. We like the red rock here for the Gecko Moria plays. We'll get rid of the 0 cost event, and I don't think we're going to need Tudo Flamingos. We're going to set up the top, and we don't find a 9 cost Sanji, so we're going to have to play without it because I'd rather have the info. Gravity Blade will also be good in this matchup. Again, emptying out our hands so we can draw later, and then into 8, so 2, 4, 6, 8. So this should be our 8, this should be our 9, and we know that, so we're going to draw 4. We will play out this. 5, we will play out this. So we're in a pretty good spot here. I think that's the perfect stack. I could have rushed it a little bit, but I think that one's going to be good. We won't know until we know, though, am I right? 5 and us, we're going to take that, and we get the Sanji. So we know now where we're playing the Yamato. Perfect. Doing everything we want to do. I think we swing in a face here. Give them more options. Yeah, I think we have to. Against a deck like this that can really just clear out our board, I think it's the safest option. Again, we get to do this, start placing on top because now we're feeling good. This will be our 8, this will be our 9. So again, let's make sure. 6, 8. No, we did it wrong, see? Perfect, because it should be, right? 6 will be this draw, 8 will be this draw, 10 will be this draw, and then we play the Yamato with the Sanji. So we get the counter. Okay, good enough for me, good enough for me. I'm cool with that. So if they have any cost minus, they can get rid of this pretty easily. 5 drop Tashigi will get rid of our blocker, only swinging 5 at face. Because they can't leader effect, they don't have the extra Dawn with the Tashigi. They could also just Suru this, use leader effect, but swing in with 7 with Brook first probably, just to, you know, clear it out pretty easily. So Rebecca right here, adding the T-Bone back to hand, playing out Hamepo, which is a great option actually, swinging 5 in a face, clearing out our body. And we know what we're drawing, but we're not drawing the Drake because we weren't expecting to have to counter. So we'll take this one and counter with the Drake because we're not going down that low just yet. That would be very criminal. I wish we were drawing a Drake, but we're not. So we're going to have to swing into this character and really start to starve them out. So we draw into a Frankie instead. Let's swing 5 here and Red Rock their character. 5 here. They should just give us that 2K they showed out earlier. This kind of does suck because this puts us in a bad position. They just block out, and we're going to bottom deck this. They're going to have no way to use that now, so sure. I guess that's what you have to do, though. Like, if you look at it in that situation, there was no reason to develop this body. Putting a Katakuri on the board next turn, they're only going to 7 Dawn, so the Gecko Moria play is not there for them. They haven't developed the trash, so it looks like they may be going 5, which we're going to counter out of here pretty safely, because we showed them earlier we didn't want to counter out, so we should be good here. They swing in for 7. We're going to take. We're going to use the trigger. They have 4 left. 4 will be for Rebecca, maybe. They can't add Rebecca back to hand, so not Rebecca. Kuzan, this is fine. We'll bottom deck it. Less cards in hand. I'm okay with that. Kuzan, yep. Makes sense to me. We are going to go 5 at face here. Hopefully getting a card out of hand, but that'd be good for them as well, just to develop more cards. We'll play this, put this on the bottom of life, and pass turn. Now letting us know they have a 0 counter card on the bottom of their life, and an easy removal for us. We have no counter in hand, so let's hope. Let's hope. Like, we can clear out a big body on next turn with 9 cost into Yamato, which we know we did develop. We're drawing into a 1k counter Drake. So we'll play this down for 9, gain a life, clear out their body. They shouldn't have any rush units, so they should be swinging in for 7 and then playing Gecko Moria. But Gecko Moria won't do much for them. It looks like they want to clear this out. -4, 5 drop Tashigi, swing 7, 8 at face. On that, we will be able to clear out this Tashigi even with us not having life from the Yamato. So yeah, it looks like the math is mathing. We will take this. We will use the trigger to have less cards in hand. We don't need this many. We don't need the Mihawk at this point, so we should be pretty safe here. Getting the Satori on board is just for having a card on board, I guess. So we know we're going to 9 cost, develop, KO, and gain a life. We're going to swing for 5. They shouldn't have any triggers that really stop us from swinging, and I'm okay if they clear this. We need current value now, like as soon as possible. So now we're sitting at a solid 2 life. We've gone up life, and we know we're drawing into another Yamato here. We don't know what's after that, I don't think, but we can just play out the Yamato off the top. We won't be able to use the Sanji effect because we didn't know we had 2 Sanjis until we got it out of life. So just remember that we couldn't play that we were going to get another Sanji out of life. So we'll just have to see what we do, I guess. We're feeling pretty good, though. I think we definitely stabilized a lot. They play brand new to finally develop their trash, grabbing an Ice Age to really lower our cost really effectively. That's going to be kind of annoying. They get to swing 7 at us, probably at Satori at this point, because we have so many life. If they want to swing face, that's okay with me. We also have Gravity Blade if we need to. 10 here, you got it. I am totally A-okay with that. They play down a Borsalino, which is something we're really not stressed about. We can take that off the board. We could also 9 cost into possibly nothing here. I think we're kind of starting to take the game away here. So if we Gravity Blade, how can we get rid of 2 cards in hand to get down to the life total? I don't think we can. That's the only issue. So I guess we'll just swing in a face, lowering our cards by using this. Gravity Blade, both of those. We're going to go 8 because there's not a way. If we had a 3 cost, that'd be good, but we don't have one. So we're going to go 8 in a face. They're probably going to take, and then 9, 9. They're going to need to counter one of these pretty soon, or they're going to need to be able to kind of get rid of our board a little bit. So definitely an option with the Ice Age now in hand. If they don't get rid of a body or 2, we probably win on the next turn. We do have the Red Rock. Come here, buddy. Little buddy's yapping over here, yelling at me. I'm actually feeling a lot better. It really works in setup decks. Again, aggro decks don't really work. If we were to play a Doflamingo, which we haven't seen on the sim yet, which this is our last game per usual. We're doing 4 games today because I totally fumbled that Shanks game. So we're not going to count that for you. I would feel really bad if we did that, especially to a valid Discord member who also does go to my locals. I'm not going to lie to you guys. Tashigi to get rid of Sanji. So they can swing 8 at face here. They get to clear out that body, develop 2 of their own. We're okay with taking here. Getting the Mihawk is going to be actually really good. We have a Bedge trigger. There's, again, not a way to lower our hand size. We could 5 cost and then play out the Bedgy. I think we need to get the blocker on the board, but removing this Tashigi would also be very good at this point. And we're losing counter in hand if we do that. So I don't know if that's the best option here, because we need to be at 4 or less, and that's almost impossible. So maybe we should just throw out the card just to get there, but we wouldn't have really known. Or I could have known that, I guess, but then we just lose a card in hand, but we gain a life, so it makes it harder for them to kill us. If we remove a body, that's also better. Let's start with 9 at face. That's the best option. Just swing. If they can counter, they have to counter here, right? They have to give us 3 cards. If they give us the wrong amount of cards, we know we just win. So if they have to give us like 4 cards, 5 cards from hand, we have guaranteed lethal with Perona as well, because they'll only have 1 case at that point, you know? So they might have done the math to see, hey, can I get out here? And my thought is probably not, because now we have to choose. Do we just go for game? There's no way they have all 2Ks, right? Nope, they did not. 2, 3, 4, only 4K counter, and that's GG's to our opponent. Hey, that actually did pretty good into Smoker. I was kind of surprised. We did have the Yamato on the top, which I don't think we knew about, but that wouldn't have even killed anything. We would have gained a life, so we could have played this. But again, I don't think we had that information, so we couldn't just assume. But also ripping Sanji for 9 for no reason, it's kind of fun. Guys, I think this is actually not a bad deck. I think it's a little slow for the current format, as I said, with the Doflamingos, Purple Luffy's, Shanks, all these decks. I think this deck is a little too slow for the current format, but I think as long as it continues to get support, basically just any generic bodies that are 9 cost and 8 cost and 7 cost characters to cheat out with the 9 cost Sanji, or more options to stack our deck, I think the deck just gets better. As you can see, these 4 cards are the main cards you need to see in the beginning of the game, and you want to see all these as your late game pieces and life. These are your trigger units and your bodies you play off the 9-cost Sanji. I think you could see in that final 2 games how this deck is supposed to be played, how we got better throughout playing it. So just remember, the best way to get better at the game is to play the game more. I'm actually really excited to maybe play this more often. It's not my foolproof kind of deck that I usually play, but it was actually pretty good. If I had to rank this, it would have to be in a vacuum. In a vacuum, I think this deck is probably like a 7 out of 10. And the reason it gets more 7 out of 10 because the deck build, it's because of the effect. You know, having to always be down on resources to gain the lives and having very specific parameters at this point of the game. Everything nowadays is just so generic, so it's hard to keep up with those kind of things. It could even be a 6 contender. Is it a good deck? It's a good deck. It's not a great deck, it's not a meta deck, but it's one that I think people could have fun with at locals, and one that if you do bring to locals, please let me know. I would love to see how people perform with this, and probably people who can play it a little better. I'm one of the honest tubers who are, you know, like, I'm not a super duper meta player. You guys force me to play off meta decks all the time, but if you want more meta content, I can definitely do it. I would love to be able to play on a more meta platform, doing more ranked and stuff like that, or maybe we do some members only ranked, because now I can do memberships that I'm at 600 and some subs, and at this point, who even knows what we're at? So thank you guys so much as always for the support. I love you and your mama, and join the Discord down below, like, subscribe, all that good jazz, and I'll see you in the next deck profile, or you can look at the many other deck profiles on the channel. So peace.